We continue our special with the desperate steps Brittanee's family took after finding out Brittanee couldn't be found. After receiving the call, her mother, Dawn Plecken, came to Myrtle Beach to retrace her daughter's steps.
It seems like a really, really long time ago. You know, when we got down here, it took us about 18 hours to get to Myrtle Beach that following day after Brittanee disappeared. And you know, getting down here and going to the media, and then, you know, going on the boulevard and passing out flyers and asking people if they seen her, really seems like a long time.
Dawn Plecken didn't find what she expected when she made the drive to Myrtle Beach from New York in search of her 17-year-old daughter.
Just that I was hoping that I could find Brittanee, and, you know, within a decent amount of time, and, you know, really getting her face out there in the media, and, you know, so that maybe somebody would see her and we could locate her.
But 10 years later, the search for Brittanee continues, despite endless searches by both authorities and Brittanee's family.
You know, we've been working a lot on our case. I've been really involved with Brittanee's case from day one, you know, in hopes to bring her home and get her justice.
That work started just after Brittanee vanished. First, her family headed to the Bar Harbor where Brittanee was staying. Some of her high school friends met them there. Then Dawn and her family did whatever they could to get Brittanee's face and story out in the open.
That following day, I mean, we started, you know, ground pounding, getting down on the boulevard and passing out flyers and talking to people and going to the hotel.
That work continued for several days, both in the Grand Strand and the McClellanville area where Brittanee's cell phone last pinged. Plecken says she could sense there was more to Brittanee's disappearance. Her mother's intuition hinting she didn't vanish without a trace of her own will.
And I just knew, I mean, I talked to her, just talked to her, you know, on Saturday, and she's like, "I love you, Mom." Those were her last words to me, is, "I love you, Mom, I'll see you tomorrow."
But tomorrow never came. Committing to solving her daughter's case, Plecken moved to the area. She says she met with the FBI multiple times over the years and still has contact with Myrtle Beach police on the investigation, but admits the case isn't where she thought it would be after so much time.
I just think that we should be a lot farther than we are. You know, but as a mother, it's just hard to accept that, you know, in 10 years they haven't gotten anything.
Plecken believes someone has information that can help bring the search for answers closer to an end.
Oh, I believe people know. I believe people know what happened to my daughter, and God forbid anything ever happened to their kids.
A decade later, Plecken still has her own private investigator working Brittanee's case.
You know, but everybody wants answers too, just right along with the family. You know, we want justice for her. We want to find out, you know, what happened to her, and have these horrible people that have done this to pay for what they've done.
While she knows finding Brittanee wouldn't mean an end to this distressing process, just the start of another chapter, she hopes to one day find closure for her daughter.
We want Brittanee. We want to bring her home so we can lay her to rest. I don't care if it's one bone. I want to be able to do that for my daughter. She didn't deserve this. She came down here. It was, you know, it was a lot of teenagers do stuff like this. It wasn't her fault what happened to her. She was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and she deserves to be found.
WMBF News also spoke with Brittanee's adoptive father over the phone. Chad Drexel adopted Brittanee at just 3 years old after marrying her mother, Dawn. Drexel says he didn't come to Myrtle Beach immediately after Brittanee disappeared. He stayed in New York to take care of her 2 younger siblings. He remembers the feeling of learning his daughter was missing hundreds of miles from home.
Okay, I can put it. Say you're in a zoo, and your child just fell on the other side of the fence, and it was like a huge lion's den fence, and the child is just barely hanging on, but you're literally 2 inches from grabbing them, and you can't get to them. So that's the feeling that I had.
Drexel believes Brittanee started hanging out with the wrong crowd when she was 15, including the group she came to Myrtle Beach with. He believes his separation from Brittanee's mother about a year before she disappeared also hit her hard.
In my heart, in my mind, and from what my family and some of Dawn's side of the family, my ex-wife's side of the family, is, Brittanee rebelled against that because I was that security blanket. I mean, mom was the person she could tell all her secrets to, but I was that security blanket.
And Drexel's family still has private investigators working the case. For the first time, we're hearing from one of those investigators with new perspective on the case. What he believes are the greatest obstacles in what he calls a unique investigation when the disappearance of Brittanee Drexel 10 years later returns.